Hey everybody, welcome to Cut, Transform, Glue, and the racer spaceship is finished and just waiting to be painted. But before I jump on that, I actually gotta finish something else first. So in the last episode, I kind of explained you guys this idea. This right here is a docking arm where the spaceship is docked before the start of the race. But I actually gotta do a recap. I'm gonna show you how I got to this point right here on the project. And I also gotta add the last details before applying a nice coat of primer and then moving to the painting of the whole thing. I've already showed you guys a bit of this process in the last video, but in this one I'll explain in great detail what was done and of course the progress I made this week. The base is a combination of 5mm acrylic and 15mm plywood, which I made perfectly round using a router. I pre-cut a ton of acrylic strips on a big circular saw using different widths. These are very handy when I have to build bigger structures. My idea was to make this sort of I-beam, and it had to be sturdy and able to withstand the weight of the ship, so this is why I went with the thick acrylic strips. I then trimmed it down a little as it was too big for the docking arm and made the ends round using my mini disc sander. Then I attached some perfectly round laser cut acrylic pieces on both sides. And by the way, the glue I'm constantly using in this process is a weld bond type of glue that is specifically made to glue acrylic sheets. With the basic structure done, it was time to have some fun adding the little details. So as you can see right there, I'm attaching some gusset pieces printed with PLA and ABS. But in the bottom, I decided to attach some extra acrylic shapes. These will create an extra pivoting point to which I'll attach a small arm that will help distribute the weight of the whole thing. Then I reached into my collection of laser cut acrylic panels and went looking for some cool shapes to distribute all across the arm, adding some extra detail to the structure. But I'm also adding in this one some good old keyboard keys. Then I printed a couple of big axle pieces on my 3D printer. One is going to be connected of course to the base and one to the bottom of the spaceship. On the one in the bottom I glued an extra round acrylic shape, and on the surface of the base I marked where I needed a matching hole to be. I then drilled a hole and glued the structure with an obscene amount of CA glue, as I need this thing to be sturdy and reliable. Then I found this very good looking gribbly in my collection and decided to attach it to the side of the arm. My idea is that a tube can come out of the arm, go through that good looking gribbly and connect to the bottom of the spaceship. I then drilled a 6mm hole on the side of the arm and added a tiny little good looking detail ring right there. Then in my collection of tubes and wires I found this thick black cable right here. I made an attaching piece for the bottom of the spaceship, added a few extra details here and there, and I thought the arm was complete. This triangle shape right here is connected to the bottom of the spaceship using a couple of M4 bolts, and everything is connected to the arm, and this right here is the end result. Okay, so as you can see, I applied the chipping layer to the model. I left it set for a day and now it is ready to be painted. Now before I start the painting process, I actually want to try something different. Usually I paint my models with acrylic paint on the top of the primer, but the acrylic paint I have access around here is not good enough. The coverage is so weak. And so I want to make my life easier on this painting process. So I bought this white spray right here. I'm going to paint the whole model white first, and then I'll go on the top of that with the acrylic paint. Okay, so as you can see, I applied the white coat to the body of the spaceship. And while I was there, I actually found this metallic spray can right here. I wasn't aware that I had this here in my shop, but yeah, I decided to try to use this metallic paint on the engine, both on the outside and also on the inside and the nozzles, as you can see right here. But then it was finally time to start the painting process, and the colors that I decided to go with were these ones right here: a good looking purple and a pink, a warm white, and this pinkish red, which is basically the main color of the spaceship. Now my idea was to basically divide the spaceship with the colors, being the red on the top and ending with the purple on the bottom. So I went straight for the masking process and applied the first coat of acrylic paint on the top of the spray can paint. And let me tell you, the white coat definitely helped with this cheap acrylic paint I use. Okay, so I was a bit worried about the adhesion of the acrylic paint on the top of the spray can paint, but apparently I'm okay. Also, the masking isn't perfect at all. As you can see, there's some leaking under here, but yeah, these will receive many coats of different colors, and then there's chipping and then the weathering, the wash. So yeah, I'm not worried about being perfect on the masking. Now under this pinkish red comes a purple layer, and in between the purple and the pinkish red, a stripe of light pink, this light pink right here. So yeah, let me mask everything and then we'll go from there. And so this is what I did. I masked the pinkish red and applied the light pink right on the bottom of it. Once it was set, I of course masked a stripe of pink and applied the purple color. Now I'll be honest right here, I did not do a good job with the masking session, and there was a ton of leaking, which I had to repair using a brush, and it took a little while. Now this is a racer spaceship, so of course the paint job will be all scratched up and beat up at the end of the process, so this wasn't a big deal. But as I was taking care of the little details and failures, I decided to improve the precision of the curves that I had going in the masking session. But anyways, there's something else I wanted to tell you guys. My patrons on the Repair Robot tier will be able to send me their logos and be featured on the painting of the spaceship, right on the side of the fuel tank probably. So if you want to get on board and be featured and forever eternalized on the painting of this spaceship, check the link in the description box and consider helping me keep going with this channel. After a couple of days of work, this right here was the result. I took my time, I didn't rush this painting process, and I'm so glad that I did that. Now don't get fooled, this is going to be super beat up in the end of the process, and of course receive a ton of detailing like logos and the number and everything else that a race livery has. Subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment, and hit the like button if you like the video, and as always, thanks for watching.